Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today, we are going to learn about preparation of consolidated financial statements. Let us go through one example. This example is based on two statements of financial position of Tulip Berhad and Lily Berhad as at 31st December 2021. The detail about the two companies. On 1st January 2020, Tulip Berhad acquired 100% of the ordinary shares of Lily Berhad for business diversification. On the date of acquisition, the retained profit of Lily Berhad was 895,000. Given below are the statements of financial position of both companies as at 31st December 2021. Let us go through the two companies' statement of financial position. We go through the first one, Tulip Berhad. Tulip Berhad seems to be a bigger company. It has more non-current asset as compared to Lily Berhad, whereby the non-current asset of Tulip Berhad comprise of property, plant, equipment amounting to 15 million. In addition to property, plant, equipment, Tulip Berhad also has investment in Lily Berhad amounting to 7,166,400. On top of that, Tulip Berhad also has current asset of 1,795,600. From these three assets, the total asset of Tulip Berhad is 23,972,000. Let us go through the equity side of Tulip Berhad statement of financial position. The equity comprised of ordinary shares of 1 ringgit each, amounting to 11 million, and retained profit of 12,096,000. On top of that, it has a current liability that comprised of trade payables of 876,000. Next, we go through the statement of financial position of Lily Berhad. We can see from here that Lily Berhad is having property, plant, and equipment amounting to 9,701,000 and current asset of 856,000. Based on these two assets, the total assets of Lily Berhad is 10,557,000. Equity side of Lily Berhad comprised of 5 million ordinary share of 1 ringgit each and retained profit of 5,104,000. In addition to that, Lily Berhad also has 453,000 trade payables. So from this information, from this statement of financial position, we can see an item that is investment in Lily Berhad. What does investment in Lily Berhad means? This is actually the amount that has been paid by Tulip Berhad to purchase 100% ordinary shares in Lily Berhad. We can see from here that total ordinary share of Lily Berhad is 5 million. Total of ordinary share of Lily Berhad is 5 million. So let's go through again the information provided to us. What happened on 1st January 2020? Tulip Berhad acquired 100% of ordinary shares of Lily. Means it acquired 5 million ordinary shares of Lily. Okay, on top of ordinary shares of 5 million, on the date of acquisition, Lily also has a profit balance of 895,000. So on the date of acquisition, on 1st January 2020, the total equity of Lily Berhad is basically 5 million plus 895,000. So it amounts to 5,895,000. what we are required to do based on these two statements of financial position. From here, we have to understand that by purchasing more than 50% of ordinary shares in another company, Tulip Berhad, in this case, has acquired 100% of ordinary shares in Lily. So, by doing that, Tulip Berhad becomes a holding company and Lily Berhad becomes a subsidiary company. So what is the implication of being a holding company and being a subsidiary company? When there is a holding and subsidiary relationship, in this case, Tulip Berhad becomes the holding company and Lily Berhad becomes the subsidiary company. Tulip Berhad and Lily Berhad form a group to be named as Tulip Berhad Group. So Tulip Berhad, in addition to its own set of financial statement, it has to prepare another set of financial statement known as consolidated financial statement. And the consolidated financial statement will comprise of the financial statement of Tulip Berhad and Lily Berhad. Okay, let's look at this requirement by the question. We are required to, number one, calculate the goodwill on consolidation. Number two, analyze the financial statement balance in the form of schedule, and to prepare the consolidated statement of financial position. So what we are going to do? Number one, we need to identify the date of acquisition. Number two, to find the value of consideration transferred. And number three, to find the shares and reserve of the subsidiary on the date of acquisition. So based on the question, the first thing that we are going to do is we want to calculate the goodwill on consolidation and also group retained profit. What is goodwill? Goodwill arises when consideration transferred, that is the cost of investment, is greater than the fair value of net asset of a subsidiary. In this case, the fair value of net asset of subsidiary comprised of ordinary share plus profit available on the date of acquisition on 1st January 2020. Okay, let's go through the calculation. So now we are going to compare the consideration transferred for purchasing the ordinary share of subsidiary that amounts to 7,166,400. We compare with fair value of net asset of Lily Berhad on the same date that comprised of ordinary share capital 5 million and also profit available on the date of acquisition 895,000. So when we add the ordinary share and pre-acquisition profit of Lily Berhad on the date of acquisition, the amount is 5,895,000. And just now the consideration transferred is 7,166,400. By comparing these two, we have a difference of 1,275,000, 1,271,400. That is known as goodwill. So whenever the consideration transferred is greater than the fair value of net asset, the difference is a goodwill. Okay, secondly, we need to calculate the balance of retained profit of the two companies. So the retained profit of Lily Berhad from the statement of financial position comprised of an amount of 5,104,000, and this amount we need to deduct with the pre-acquisition profit, that is the profit available on the date of acquisition 895,000. So the balance of the retained profit of the subsidiary at the end of the year for post-acquisition period is 4,209,000, and this amount will be added to the retained profit of Tulip Berhad 12,096,000. So at the end of the year, the total profit of the group is 16,305,000. let's look at this quick fact. Number one, we put the consideration transfer here, and then second step, we put the fair value of net asset, that is ordinary share plus reserve here, and number three, we are going to compare the consideration transfer and fair value of net asset, and the result is goodwill. Lastly, the balance of Lily Berhad retained profit is added to the balance of Tulip Berhad, and this amount will be taken to consolidated statement of financial position. So we can see from here the property, plant and equipment of the parent 15 million and 10,000 plus the property, plant and equipment of the subsidiary 9,101,000. We plus these two and we get 24,711,000. And this amount is actually the group property, plant and equipment. In addition to that, we need to put the goodwill on consolidation amounting to 1,271,400 just now in the non-current asset here. And then the current asset of the parent is added to the current asset of the subsidiary. 1,795,600 for the holding plus 856,000 of the subsidiary. And the total amount is 2,651,600. Total asset of the group is 28,634,000. Whereas for the equity side of the group, we can see that we need to record the ordinary share capital of the holding company, that is Tulip Berhad, 11 million. Okay, and then we need to put here the group retained profit of 16,305,000. And lastly, under the current liabilities, we need to add the account payable of the holding company 876,000 and the account payable of the subsidiary 453,000. So altogether it is 1,329,000. So from here we have prepared a full set of consolidated statement of financial position for Tulip Berhad and its subsidiary Lily Berhad as at 31st December 2021. That's all for today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.